My name is Lorenzo Bobby Adams, and I sang with a group called the Calvanes. And our first recording was in 1955. Don't Take Your Love From Me, and the flip side was Crazy Over You.
I guess starting off, are you originally from California?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was born, raised, and retired in Los Angeles. Went to school there too, yeah.
And I guess starting off before you started singing, was there like a big influence, like from either relatives or anything with music, or how did you find out that you wanted to start singing?
We had some groups that we loved to hear on the black radio stations at the time, and it was KGFJ was the main radio station with Hunter Hancock, and he played music by the Clovers. We loved the Clovers, the Moonglows, the Dominoes, Billy Ward and the Dominoes, Castells. And then we had some local groups called the Flares, Richard Berry, and there were and the harp tones. Yes, the harp tones. So those groups were played on the radio pretty regularly, and so we kind of got the itching ear that we was going to try to make it too, because we could carry a tune, and that's what you have to have at first. You have to be able to carry a tune and remember stuff. So, and not sing flat.
And I guess before the Calvanes, you started singing
With the
with
Dundees.
the Dundees.
Yeah, I sang with the
And
Dundees.
how did you guys form that group first?
Well, this when we started fooling around. We had a location where there was a piano, and Carlisle Dundee, whose real name was Robert Mosley, he heard us practicing and singing around, and this was before we recorded a song. And he said, "Listen, I got a couple of tunes I would like for you guys to back me up. I want to record them. And you think you'd like to do that?" We said, "Oh yeah, recording? Oh yes." So Carlisle Dundee, we started rehearsing with him, and we made on Space Label we recorded two songs that were written by him. One was Never, and the other side was Evil One. And so we recorded those two songs, and but then somehow he wandered off. I mean, he just kind of left the scene, didn't want to, record anymore, I guess. And so, but we did. So we stayed together, and the Dundees, became the Wonders. And we recorded, and we stayed on Space Label, and that was 1954, and I was 14 years old. And the other guys were 14, 15 years old. So we recorded two songs. I think one was called Bop Bop Baby, and the other one, I'm forgetting the name of it.
Was it Little Girl?
Little Girl. Little Girl. And I led both of those songs. And so, and then after that, then that group faded out, and we recorded on a different label, Doo-Tone, and which we love to hear. The Penguins, the Earth Angel, and the Meadowlarks, Heaven and Paradise was on that label.
I guess
Yeah.
quickly going back to the Dundees and the
Yes.
Wonders. How did you guys get that like initial record contract with Space?
They had a guy named Lee Silver who was on Space. He owned the label, and so Lee Silver heard us sing, and he liked the way we sounded, and So we were all in high school at the time. I might have been a ninth grader in junior high or middle school with the Dundees. But Lee Silver, he liked the way we sound, and so that's who we recorded with, and the Dundees. I don't know if that guy Robert Mosley is still. He called himself Carlisle Dundee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And then, did you record with the Dundees and the Wonders in a recording studio, or is that kind of like
Yes,
a makeshift thing?
yes. We were actually in a recording studio, and I don't know. It was on Space Label. I guess it was a rental studio, something like that. You know.
How was that experience walking into the recording studio for the first time?
It was man. We were happy. We were happy and smiling and nervous, and because the key was not going flat. We didn't want to sing flat. We wanted to stay on key, and we wanted to sound good. And and not only that, we wanted to be able to play our records, hear our records played on the radio, a KGFJ radio station. And then we also wanted the little girls to like us, we all wanted the little girls to like us at the time, and they wanted to become popular and famous, and so that was the key there. But we recorded in actually a recording studio.
And I guess the personnel of the Dundees and the Wonders are pretty much the same, except for
Pretty,
Carlisle.
yes. There was a guy. Well, the Wonders. Yeah, I think they were pretty much the same. Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah.
And I guess after the Wonders, kind of
They drifted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different. We lost a guy named Sterling Mead, and he was our first tenor. And so I became the first tenor after he left. So yeah, yes.
And then with those two groups, did you guys ever do any shows with those guys, or
No,
mainly just messed around?
no, we never did. In fact, I can't remember ever doing an engagement either with the Dundees or the Wonders. We never sang out. We didn't start singing out until we became the Calvanes.
So, it's in 1954, I'm guessing, so when you guys kind of spread out as the Wonders. How soon after did you form the Calvanes?
It was almost immediate. Yeah, it was almost, because we didn't want to stop singing. So it was almost immediate. We got with a guy who was with the Flares. His name was Cornell Gunter. Cornelius. Became his real name was Cornelius Gunter, but he changed his name Cornell Gunter when he sang with the Robins. He became a Robin singer, and then we used to rehearse at his house. And so he had a piano, and we were just we didn't want to stop singing, so it was almost immediate, and we decided that because the Penguins is on Doo-Tone label, Don Julian and the Meadowlarks on Doo-Tone, and some other groups, the Pipes on Doo-Tone, and so we said, hey, and actually, we went to Doo-Tone labels right there in the community. So we went to Doo-Tone label, and it was Dootsy Williams was the owner of that label. He was a black man, and we told him. I remember we quoted. So I think I don't know who said it, but he was told that we can sing. I said, "Hey, we can sing, and we want to record on your label." And so he said, "Well, what you got?" And so we sang "Don't Take Your Love From Me" and "Crazy Over You." And that was the first two songs we recorded. And Ducey really liked our group. And he said, "You can sing, so we're going to record you." So he only signed two guys, a guy named Herman Pruitt, who was our main lead, and Stuart Crunk, who was our arranger at the time. And so the rest of us didn't count, but we sang along, you know, with it. And so I never will forget Ducey. He had a 1955 Cadillac Eldorado convertible, and he hooked up with a record store in Montebello, California. And so they got word out that we were coming to Montebello, the Calvanes, and to sign autographs and stuff and all of that. You know, of course, we signed, you know, our record. And so we thought we were hitting it big. We were riding in his 1955 white convertible Cadillac Eldorado. And so, and when we got there, to our surprise, because they broadcasted over the KGFJ radio station that we were coming there. And so there were quite a crowd there. And well, we were just, boy, we thought we had made it. We had made it big time. You know, of course we didn't. It wasn't big time at all. But we were happy about it, and to ride in Ducey Williams' Cadillac Eldorado, you know, because I'm trying to think. I drove, let's see, 1955, a 1947 Chevrolet four-door. You know, that's all I had, you know, and we mostly rode in that, you know, the 47 Chevrolet. So after that, we recorded, I think it was a couple of more songs, One More Kiss and They Call Me Fool. And we made it, there was an EP made off of those songs. And Voices for Lovers. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, Voices for Lovers. And we really, with lovers, that word in there, and our voices, man, we thought that we were going to hit it high. And we had arrived. But we hadn't, you know. But we thought we did, you know. But it was fun thinking about it. And so we started singing around, and we were on the TV show, Al Jarvis TV show.
How was that experience?
That was good. That was good. That was good. Yeah.
Do you remember what you sang on that TV show?
Don't Take Your Love From Me. And I think Crazy Over You.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
I bet that was a crazy experience.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It certainly was. Yeah.
And I guess when you were assigned to Doo-Tone, were you singing in his garage still, or did he have a studio at that point?
Well, Ducey Williams had it was actually his house, and I think he had a back studio in the garage. I think it was kind of a garage. It was well kept and everything, and the equipment and in those days, everybody, all the musicians, were in the same room. So if a musician messed up, we had to stop and do another take. Or if a singer messed up, we had to stop and do another take. And so that's the way it was. But now, you know, you lay down the tracks and you sing to the tracks, you know. They play the music, background music, and then you just sing to the tracks. But I think on one song, and I forget what song that was, we had to do 18 takes.
Really? Someone kept messing up?
Yeah, either it was the band or one of the singers kept messing up. Yeah, so we did 18 takes. Well, that was
Hard on the voice, I'm guessing.
hard on the voice. Hard on the voice. Yes, yes, yes.
And I guess going back quickly, you mentioned that Cornell Gunter kind of took you under his wing. And
Took us under his wing. Yeah, he mentored us. Yes.
how was going to his house? Because I've heard stories that his house was like the meeting place for a lot of musicians.
Yeah, I guess it was, but I know he was good to us, and his sister was Shirley Gunter and the Queens. See, his sister even liked us, and she told him that you got to hear these guys, these Calvanes, you know. And actually, I asked Stuart Crunk one time. He was our arranger at the time. I asked him. I said, Stuart, what's a Calvane? What is that? What does that mean? He says, I don't know, but it sounds good. He said it sounds so. We just stayed with the name because all the bird names, the robins, you know, they even had a group called the Spaniels who we liked. You know, Spaniel, the dog, the Spaniels, yeah, and we liked them a lot, and they were taken.
Calvanes
And the Cardinals, yeah, and all of that, yeah, those names were taken up already. So the Calvanes were that those we stuck with that. We stuck with that, and it took us. It took it for our whole career in music. Yeah, and until we made our last CD. And in 2001, yeah.
I guess you guys are still with Doo-Tone, and we're still probably in 1955,
Yes.
56.
Mm-hmm.
How many shows were you guys able to do?
We did quite a few, and most of them were at a place. It was the West Coast Apollo Theater, we called it, and it was El Monte Legion Stadium. And so we did quite a few shows at El Monte Legion Stadium, and we shared the stage with the Clovers. We shared the stage with the Dreamers, Richard Berry and the Dreamers, and there was some other entertainers that we shared the stage with at El Monte, and because that was a place that was that we appeared, did our gigs, and so yeah.
Do you have any fond memories from El Monte?
Yes, I do. I have one in particular. One of Don Julian's, the Meadowlarks, he sang with the Meadowlarks, and he also sang with a group called the Medallions, Vernon Green and the Medallions. And so Don Julian asked him, and we were booked to sing there too at this particular date. And so Don asked this guy, Ronald Barrett, he said, make up your mind which group you're going to sing with. Because if you're going to be a medallion, you can't sing with the Meadowlarks. So he said, oh, well, I'm going to sing with the medallions. And so Don Julian asked me to be a Meadowlark for that night. So I told him, I said, well, I'm singing, we already booked with the Calvanes, but I won't mind. So guess what Don Julian did? He came over to my house where I lived with my parents, and he bought over a beige jacket, because Ronald Bear and I were the same size, some brown pants, a red knit tie, and we had some red shoes. I fit the mold, and he brought them over to my house, and so the medallions. So I told the Calvanes what had happened, and so hey man, that's good, man, that's good. They weren't jealous at all, and so. I asked Don, when we got there, I said, well, who's going to go on first? Because we all just had blue suits. And so the Meadowlarks went first, and I knew those songs were easy to sing. You know, heaven and paradise up above, why, ooh, and that, and so, ooh, and we had basic chords, Dun 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 dun. That's the way most of the songs, the R&B songs, went in those days, and so that's what I remember the most. And then I got out of. I don't think Ronald Baird liked me too much taking his place, but it was all right. We all went to the same school. And then afterwards, I took my Meadowlark suit and I returned them to Don Julian right there at El Mighty, and got in my Calvane blue suit because we were going to sing sometime after that. So that's what I remember probably most. Oh, and the Dreamers were there, Richard Berry and the Dreamers. And I don't know if the Clovers were, but Clovers, at one of our gigs, we sang at El Monte about 4 or 5 times. And the Clovers came at one time. They came, and Gaynell Hodge, and I forget what group he was with, but we backed him up. Yeah, so anyway, that was a date to remember. Yeah.
And how about any other shows besides El Monte? Did you do like little clubs or?
Yeah, we performed at Lakewood. There was a club at Lakewood, California, right outside of L.A. We did that several times in Lakewood, and then to hear the ladies scream when we come on, and yeah, boy, we love that to death. Yeah, so yeah, Lakewood. We sang at it was a club called the 5-4 Ballroom, 54th and Broadway in Los Angeles. We sang there, and the Medallions was singing too at the same time. So and we sang at Belmont High School, and then we sang at Fremont High, the school I went to. for their, they had a little talent show and stuff like that, so we sang there. Yeah, and so we were pretty well respected in those days.
So
Yeah.
I bet you, how many groups went to your high school? 'Cause you said
Oh, they had mainly the Medallions, the Meadowlarks, the Dreamers, and the Calvanes. Those, I think it's four that I can remember that went to Fremont, and some of them went to Flares, went to Manual. Cornell Gunter and the Flares went to Manual Arts High School.
with all those groups that you know, with all those groups in California, did you guys ever have any battles? Like battle of the group?
No, we didn't. We didn't. We got along with we're pretty compatible with all the groups, you know. Yeah. Of course, we thought that in terms of talent, that we were the best. That we were the best of all of them. Of course, the Dreamers had tight harmony. They were good. They were very good. We loved the Dreamers. Yeah.
Cool. And
Yeah.
being on Doo-Tone, you know, one of the major LA record labels.
Record
at that time,
labels.
for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Did you know some of the other groups on that label? Like you mentioned the Pipes, but did you know groups like the Saigons or some groups?
No,
like
we
that?
didn't know the group. We didn't know the Saigons. We didn't know the Saigons at all. I don't remember them. I've heard of them, but I didn't know what label they were on. You know, I heard Saigons on the radio, you know, Hunter Hancock radio station. Hunter Hancock. In fact, Dream World was sung. Hunter Hancock asked us to sing at his wedding, and we sang Dream World.
What year was that?
It had to be in about 1958. I think it was about 1958. He asked us to sing at his wedding. I don't know if it was his first wedding or second wedding or fourth or fifth, I don't know. But we sang at his wedding.
Dream World.
Yeah, Dream World. Yeah, yeah.
And I guess before you sang with that version of the Calvanes, you guys kind of broke up for a tiny bit, right?
Yeah, we thought we was gonna make a lot of money, and in those days, you know, unless you had a real big, huge hit record, you didn't, you know. I think Ducey, we got paid like 2 cents a record, which was split 5 ways. So that wasn't very much, you know. So we were a little disappointed, and so we left Doo-Tone. After the EP, the Voices for Lovers, we left Doo-Tone, and we joined another label called Deck. Height Morgan and Verinda Morgan, his wife. And we thought we were very talented, and we started singing on Deck. We recorded 2 songs on Deck, Lavender and You're Only Young Once. And we were using chords, diminished chords, you know, fifths, sevenths, and ninth chords. And boy, we hit a chord. Oh, boy, we hit it. It was like the High-Lows. I don't know if you ever heard of the group called the High-Lows and the Four Freshmen.
Yeah,
That was that Modern Harmony. We started singing Modern Harmony, but there was no money to be made in that, at least for black artists. So we reverted back to, at least they recorded it, to deck. I mean, I'm trying to think what other songs we recorded for. 5, 7, or 9 was recorded on deck label, and
My Love Song.
My Love Song.
And Horror Pictures.
Yeah, Horror Pictures. Yes, yes, Horror Pictures. Freddie led that song. I tell you, boy, My Love Song, we thought that that was the prettiest song we ever recorded, was My Love Song. We loved that song. And I loved it in particular because I sang first tenor on it, you know, and doing it in the background, and we're, you know, ooh, ooh, and then you can hear my voice on it. You know, I don't really love to hear my voice, you know, on My Love Song, but that was a pretty song. My goodness, yeah. We thought that we were a very good group, and you know, among the top. In fact, Buddy Bailey of the Clovers told us when we sang behind him, you all sound better than the original Clovers. And then we kind of got the big head then, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And Buddy
What
Bailey.
a compliment.
Yes, that was quite a compliment.
And
Yeah.
also, I guess during that time as well, you also sang with another group, right? The Hitmakers.
The Hitmakers. Yes. We, I don't know where this guy came from, a guy named Rodney Gooden, but they wanted us to back him up. And we sang on RCA Victor. Now, RCA Victor was one of the main labels at that time, you know. So we said, oh man, you guys sing on RCA Victor. So we sang Just a Friend. Oh, no, before that. Made Chapel of Love. He made Chapel of Love. And Cool School. Cool School I led. And that was the nursery rhyme song. Was called Cool School. I dream about a crazy place. Mother Goose and Mother Goose and oh, I'm telling you that I led that song. But Chapel of Love was a very pretty song, and Rodney Gooden sang that one.
Was this was the Hitmakers? Was that before the Deck records or after the Deck records?
It was after the Deck records. Yeah, the Hitmakers. Yeah, in fact, the Calvanes, most of the Calvanes, I think there was 2 other guys on Hitmakers. It was on Art LeBeau's radio station, and he was a disc jockey, and it was his radio station. And so there was 2 other guys, and then Val Paluto. So it was 3 guys that weren't Calvanes plus me. So I sang the first tenor. I did a little run on the Hitmaker song. There's a chapel of love. And I did, oh, oh, oh. And then I went to the bass. Whoa, 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 whoa. And so I did bass and first tenor on that song, Chapel of Love.
So you kept switching.
Yeah,
back
switching back. Yeah. So that was that I did. I was the only Calvane on the Hitmakers tunes.
And then
Yeah.
after that, you kind of had a couple stagnant years, right? And then you have the Nuggets, right?
The Nuggets.
On RCA Victor.
Yeah, RCA Victor was the Nuggets. That's when we did. Yeah, that's when we did Just a Friend. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We recorded. I think it was Just a Friend and Cool School, the Nuggets. Yeah, yeah, that's what we did. I think that's what it was.
I think you guys also did Cap Snapper.
Cap Snapper, oh yeah, we did the Cap Snapper.
Angel on the Dance Floor.
Angel on the Dance Floor,
Before We Say
that's
Goodnight.
right. Oh yes, I forgot about those. See, I'm getting older, you know, I'm getting forgetful. You're right, we did Angel on the Dance Floor. And we recorded quite a few songs. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How was going from Doo-Tone to then RCA Victor?
It was like night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I have to credit Doo-Tone for giving us our start, because that was the first record label that. No, Space Label was the first record label we recorded on. But Doo-Tone really gave us a push where our music was being played on a radio station. Yeah. And then we were interviewed. Also, they had a place, Vernon and Central, called Dolphins of Hollywood. It's a big record store, and Huggy Boy he did songs from that location, and so one day he wanted us to do an interview on his radio station, and this is the funny part. He asked each one of us what part we sang, whether it was bass or first tenor. So Herman, he said, well, I sing mostly lead, and I'm a second tenor. Stewart said, I'm a baritone. And of course, I was the first tenor, and then Joe said he was a second tenor. And then they asked Jack what part he sang, and he said, I sing bass. His voice, he wasn't a real bass at all, but I sing bass.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And thinking about the Calvanes on Doo-Tone, Calvanes on Deck, and now you have the Nuggets. How did the personnel kind of carry over? Or,
Yeah, yeah, because we got Freddie Willis joined us in 1958, and it was Herman, myself, Stewart, and Freddie in 1958, and then Freddie he left and went into the military. So and then I think I'm trying to think. It was basically the same, but one or two guys. Sidney Dunbar was one guy that joined us. I forget what year it was, but yeah, it's hard to remember all this stuff, you know. In 1990, we recorded. Well, we had Freddie and Stewart had passed away. So we got Jimmy Corbett. He was our bass. He was a real bass singer. Jimmy Corbett, he was way down there, man, way down there. And he used to sing with, at times with a guy named Johnny Staten. Johnny Staten, forgot what song he recorded. But we went to a Doo-Wop show because there was only three of us. Freddie, Stewart. No, it was Freddie Stewart. Stewart, yeah, Stewart was still alive then. And Herman. Freddie, Stewart, Herman, and myself. And we were one guy short, I think. Yeah. Anyway, we heard Jimmy singing with Johnny Staten, so we asked him, how would you like to become a Calvane? He had heard about us, you know. He said, hey, man, he said, great, yeah, great. So he joined our group, and I don't know what songs we recorded after. I think it was High Tone Records. I know what High Tone Records. It was
The classic artists.
Classic Artists. That's the label we recorded on with Jimmy. Yeah, we recorded some songs, some tunes on Classic.
And then I guess, going back real quick in time, so you go from the Nuggets, and then you had your career with the LAPD, right?
Yes.
And what year did you guys all think, oh, let's get the Calvanes back together? Was that 1990?
That was 1990 because we had taken a sabbatical. In 1990, that's when we got Jimmy. And Freddie, you know, of course, he was out of the military. He was working for the post office at the time. Herman, and I became a police officer with the Los Angeles Police Department in 1966. And I worked a lot of overtime, and that's how I was able to travel some with the Calvanes and with some other entertainers. So, because I worked a lot of overtime. And I didn't take the money, I took the time. Because I made more money on the road taking the time, you know, than I did if I had taken the money.
So
Yeah.
what was the, I guess, do you remember, what was the driving force for getting back with those guys in 1990? Like, was there like a, you missed it?
Well,
or?
yes, we still stayed in touch, you know, and we always kind of wished that we could record again, and so we just had that burning desire to record again, and I think that 1990, I think that's when Classic Records came available to us, and they really liked us. That's where we recorded My Love Song, the most prettiest song and beautiful song that we ever recorded was done on Classic. Yeah, My Love Song. And Herman, of course, he was our main lead, and that brother could sing. He could sing, man. Yeah. Yeah, so we just kind of took it from there, and we sang all the way up to, we made a CD called The Calvanes in Harmony, and we recorded that song in 2001, and it was Freddie, Herman, Jimmy, and myself. And and Calvanes in Harmony. That CD was a composite of a lot of the R&B hits of the 50s. And so even consisted of a song that I wrote personally and led on that CD. They, they say Bobby Adams wrote a song,
What
and
song was
he's
that?
You Promised Me. Yeah, You Promised Me. I led that song and wrote it. And that was a pretty song. It's a pretty song too. Yeah, it's a ballad. Yeah, so that was that was it for us. That was it for us.
You guys broke up again around that time?
Yeah, we all went our separate ways, and yeah. And I talked to Herman recently. Freddie Willis, he passed away. He was our arranger. He became our arranger. And of course, Stewart had passed away in 1967. He had asthma, real bad. But he was a gifted arranger himself. He arranged our songs. And then he also played the piano. So
So it's only you and Herman still are left?
yeah, I think, just the two of us. The original Calvanes. I don't know, but I don't know what happened to Joe or Jack. I can't say that for sure. Jack moved to Atlanta, and Joe, I don't know what happened to him. Joe was our second tenor. Yeah. So, but we had the Calvanes in Harmony. Boy, I tell you, that was a good CD. It was a very good CD.
And that was the last?
That was the last of the Mohegans.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So I guess now looking back at your time singing in the 50s and early 60s, is there anything that you would have changed about your experience? Or?
Well, I think we all felt that we weren't paid enough for our talent. I mean, the Calvanes, we traveled a little bit. We went back east a few times. New York, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we traveled the California, state of California. And also, we went overseas twice. We went over to London and also Amsterdam in Holland.
Wow.
So those two places were overseas, and so we went to those locations. Yeah.
I bet with the singing when you were like 15, I bet you didn't even think that you would still be thinking about that.
No. We were all very young, but we thought we were very good at the time, And I thought we were a decent group.
Oh, definitely. More than
Yeah.
decent.
Yes.
Do you think there's anything that I missed that I should have mentioned, or any other stories you have about the Calvanes or any of the other groups?
Um, no, I think you covered it all. We sang around at different clubs and stuff, for the city of Los Angeles. And the 5-4 ballroom, we all walked there. That was before I had a car. So we walked there in our blue suits.
Did people recognize you guys while you were
Yeah,
walking?
yeah. They had a guy named Johnny Otis. It was his band playing there.
Oh, John, yeah.
Yeah, and so and I think we were underage, and we weren't allowed to have alcohol, in the 5-4 ballroom. So we all had Cokes and Pepsis or whatever it was, and water, and that was it. But we sang and we were well received there. Yeah, well received at the 5-4. I think that, when we sang at the high schools like Belmont, I think we sang at Jefferson High, we sang at Fremont High, and Emmanuel Arts High, so 4 high schools. We were well received at the schools, because they listened to it. We all at the same age, and we were so well received. And we had fun doing it.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we had fun doing it. Yeah.
I'm guessing just, with people your age, you were celebrity status with those guys.
Yeah. I tell you, it was just a lot of fun. I can say that I've been there and done that. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like, with all the music you did, it sounds like you guys had a lot of fun. And
We
that's
had a lot of
all that
fun.
matters, right?
Yeah, that's all that matters. A lot of fun. And then, of course, I latched on to some entertainers and provided security services for them and traveled the world, you know. And even Lionel Richie, one time he introduced me. I think we were in Australia, and he said, "This is my security, Bobby Adams. He used to sing with the Calvanes." They didn't know who the heck the Calvanes were. Who was that? He just laughed, and we all laughed and had a good time laughing about it. So
Did you do a lot of security work like that with
yeah, Michael Jackson.
How was that?
Oh man, it was good, but it was tough. It wasn't all glamorous because the girls were.
Tear 'em apart.
Oh man, oh man, they were on. They screamed. You couldn't hear yourself. They screamed so loud you couldn't hear yourself think. But I was fortunate enough. I had a good ear for music. I could harmonize and I could sing all the parts, and because I was a member of the Calvanes. But I did a lot of security, but the J5, around 6 tours with the J5, and we traveled a lot. And and I did the last 30 days of the Victory Tour in 1984 with the J5. And 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 then I'm trying to think. I was with Lionel Richie. I picked him up in '83. The Commodores were the opening act for the Jackson 5. So And they said, hey, listen, Bobby, why don't you, I want you, are you interested in doing security work? I said, yeah, I might be. And he said, well, Lionel Richie left the Commodores, and he's going to be solo. He's a solo singer now. And he's having a rehearsal at this place in Hollywood. I forgot the name of the studio. And so I went to the rehearsal, and we looked at each other, and he said, I know you, because he's the opening act for the J5, and I was with the J5. I said, oh, yeah. So we became, I became an employee of his, and plus a friend. He's been here at the house.
What did he know about your group at all before you told him?
No.
Yeah?
No, he didn't know about it. I gave him a copy of the CD, though.
What do you think of?
He said, man, you guys were really good. You had harmony, and Calvanes in harmony. And that's an appropriate name for that CD, because that's what you hear is harmony. And no one is singing flat. We did not like flat singers.
It's so interesting to think, comparing Little Girl by the Wonders.
Yes.
Don't Take Your Love.
Yes,
You guys
totally
sound like a totally different group.
Yes. Little Girl, I forgot how that song goes, man. Little Girl,
You might not like it. It goes a little flat sometimes.
a little flat sometimes. Yeah, you're right. You're so right. But I was 14 years old, I think. See, yeah. But hey, yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
It's so cool to think that, starting when you were 14.
Yes.
And up until, now you've been just surrounded by music, working with Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie.
Yeah, I traveled Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson. I toured with the actor Lou Gossett, Richard Pryor, and Dionne Warwick, and just quite a few people I did security work for. Did a thing for Barry Manilow.
A little different.
A little different. It was a little different, yeah, it was, yeah, a little different. Yeah, I actually trained his security officer. He wanted. And yeah, but anyway, when I came on the scene with him, he was in D.C., and he looked at me and he said, thank God. Yeah, I was there to train his guy that he really wanted to be his security. Because I was with Dionne Warwick at the time, and we had about a 2-week break. And so that's all I needed to train him. And then, in the art of protection and venue work, hotel security and stuff like that, what he needed to do. So, and also, the thing that I valued was integrity. And then there was a lot of thievery going on, people stealing money, and, and I mean, stealing money, lots of money and stuff. But I always accounted for, I was given a certain amount of funds to tip the luggage guy that handled our luggage, to tip, the head of security at the venue, because I said, if you do a good job for me, I'm going to lay something on you. And I accounted for it. I wrote everything down. I had a form that I created, and I wrote everything down. And every tip I gave, whether it was $5 or whether it was $100, I accounted for it. And then whatever money I had left over, I turned it back in.
I guess they liked you then, you know?
Yeah.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy, and that was a key thing, and that's hard to find.
You know, a lot of people just pocket that money.
Yeah, it's hard to find. It's hard to find out there. But I just wanted to keep a clear conscience, and I wanted people to, you know, think well of me, and yeah, I did that for every artist that I was with. Yeah, yeah. I gave an account for all the money I had, and kept a record of it, and I turned it in. I turned the record in with the money, and everything came out. And that's how people referred me. I got referred to various entertainers because of it. Yeah.
Integrity gets you a long way. Sure.
It'll take you many miles. Yeah. So.
Perfect. Well, I guess to conclude, do you want what do you want people to remember about you and about the groups you sang with?
Well, I would like to have them remember that we made a lot of good music, and it was music that people could dance to, especially the slow dance. They even did the hop and stuff in those days, you know. But that they people could always trust Bobby Adams. You know, that's the thing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say to the people, I guess, who are going to see this?
Well, I don't know who's going to see it, but I'm honored to have you here, and Braden, and I'm honored to spend time with you and share my moments with you. And Doo-Wop or R&B, I don't know. Some people call it Doo-Wop music, but it was rhythm and blues. That's what it was. Yeah, so.
Perfect. I thank you again for sitting down with me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. And I thank Karen Efren for connecting us, and Elaine Wade, her sister. Yes, I love those ladies. Yes, so, yeah, that's it.